The following is a presentation of the HAN Network, the leader for local news, sports, and entertainment in Fairfield and Westchester counties. There are certain rules in baseball. When playing a doubleheader, one must mention Ernie Banks. Let's play two. Game two coming up from the ballpark at Harbor Yard. It's the 2016 FCIAC Baseball Semifinals on the HAN Network. And with Dan Gardella, Justin Galanti, and our entire HAN Network crew, I'm Rob Adams. Tonight, the Fairfield Warde Mustangs will take on the Trumbull Eagles in Game 2, with the winner heading on to the FCIAC Championship. And Dan Gardella, we saw a good one in game number one, particularly for the Darien Blue Wave. The Blue Wave pitched great, hit well, did enough. They got the job done. They've moved on to the championship. Now they await the winner of this.
Well, whenever you come off of a game where you score 20 runs, you got to be feeling pretty good about your offense. And they got a great start from their starter, Wish, today. And they're just riding high right now. And both of these teams, like we said at the end of the last broadcast, they're regulars here. They've been at Harbor Yard before. They faced off in the championship 2 years ago with Warde winning that matchup. So it's not like these two are not familiar with each other. So it's going to be a good one.
Down below awaits Justin Galanti. Justin will get you involved as well right here in the opening. Give us your thoughts as we get going.
Well, how's everyone doing today? Like you guys talked about, great matchup of two FCIAC Titans, two teams that get here a lot. On the mound for Warde, our viewers know him pretty well by now. It's John Natoli looking to send Warde to the FCIAC Championship game. And this is where Warde saw their advantage come into play when they didn't have to play the final Wednesday of the regular season, were able to get Natoli and Reese Maniscalco rest and ready for today's game.
And indeed, it will be John Natoli going up against Chris O'Brien for the Trumbull Eagles. And the Eagles coming in, they're the higher seed, and yet there's almost this prevailing notion, I think, Dan, and I could be wrong, let's see your thoughts, there's almost this prevailing notion that the Warde Mustangs are the higher seed and the team that's almost favored here tonight.
It feels that way, but like we said, the FCIAC it's a crazy thing. Warde coming into this is the 7th seed, but there was also, I believe, a three-way tie with three teams at a 10-6 record. So the seedings right now are out the window. You just play ball. You do what you got to do. You play your style, and it all the final score comes out to
in
that.
A couple of hours, we'll have an answer. Let's meet the starting lineups for this game for the Fairfield Warde Mustangs. They come in as the number 7 seed. Joey Deutsch will lead things off and play third base. Batting second, the shortstop, Jack Myers. Hitting third is Giacomo Brancato in center field. Batting fourth, the first baseman, Reese Maniscalco. Hitting fifth, the pitcher, John Natoli. Batting sixth for Fairfield Warde, Xavier Espinel is the designated hitter. Danny DiBartolomeo is hitting seventh, and he is catching. Batting eighth, the right fielder, Bobby Lazar, and batting ninth and playing left field is Owen Burendorf. And on the mound, as we said, John Natoli will pitch for the Fairfield Warde Mustangs. They are coached by Brett Connor. Across the way, for the Trumbull Eagles, they will lead off with Dustin Segura at second base. Batting second is the third baseman, Andrew Lodjko. Hitting third and catching is Chris DeCoco. Batting fourth is the left fielder, Alex Rosso. Batting fifth and pitching is Chris O'Brien. Robert Olaz hitting sixth, and he is the designated hitter. Hitting seventh and playing right is Justin Waldeck. Vinny DeRubius is batting eighth and playing first base, and batting ninth, the center fielder, Jack Lynch. And again, Chris O'Brien on the mound for Phil Pacelli and the Trumbull Eagles. And the starting lineups being introduced right down below. And Justin, again, kind of same from game number one. How do things change? Playing under the lights, field conditions, what comes into what's going into the second game?
Well, certainly we talked about during the first game how different it is playing in the big stadium that Harbor Yard is. But throwing in the lights is a whole nother element. But give Trumbull the advantage when you think about that. They have lights at their home field and play the majority of their home games at 6 p.m. under the lights.
And this is a game in which crowd is going to be bigger, Dan, because you've got Fairfield just, minutes away to the west of this ballpark, and just minutes to the north of this ballpark is Trumbull.
Well, in the first game, you had Darien and Norwalk, who aren't the closest to Harbor Yard, but here you have Fairfield, you have Trumbull, like you said. They're not that far away from here. And we already see down near the Warde side, we kind of have a little sea of red over there. And for the Trumbull, it kind of looks a little bit like a blackout, but there's going to be a lot more people flowing in as we get this game underway.
I give the advantage right now, at least noise-wise, to Trumbull. A lot of noise being made as they are being introduced down the third baseline right now, and you've got the Mustangs resplendent in the red with the white and the black on the first baseline. Trumbull in that combination of white and gold outlined in black. By the way, the Trumbull athletic director, Mike King, is going to join us as we move through this game tonight. So he is going to come on and chat with us, not only about things going on at his school, but of course about the legacy of John Kutzo as well, and we look forward to having him join us in a little bit.
Well, another thing just to mention about the uniforms that personally I like, you have the stirrups with a couple of stripes on them. I can respect those. Norwalk had those in the last game.
We step out, we get things going. Game number 2. It's going to be Warde and Trumbull. You're watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network.
Connecticut is coming back to hometown banking, to a partner that makes small businesses feel big, where community comes first, where you get the know-how only neighbors can deliver, where saving time is important too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well, bank smart, bank local, bank well. With the 24-month Bank Well Smart CD, you can earn 1.35% APY and raise your rate and add to your CD.
You're watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. Nearly 1 million people have watched our live sports, news, and entertainment programming since the network launched in August 2015. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Back at the ballpark at Harbor Yard, we get ready for the first pitch. And folks, the HAN Network is dedicating all of our playoff games to a good friend of ours, and that is John Kutzo, the FCIAC Executive Director, who's actually sitting just a few feet to my left. He is retiring at the end of this season after 38 years on the job, and really a guy who's been at the FCIAC since day number 1. His tireless efforts on behalf of the league and the thousands of student athletes is undoubtedly why the FCIAC is the premier conference in the state of Connecticut. Of course, we wish John all the best in his retirement and thank him for all that he has done on behalf of the HAN Network.
And like you said, Rob, the FCIAC arguably is one of the better conferences in Connecticut because it's not just within the conference, the success it has, but once you branch out into those state playoff games, you always see a Staples, a Warde, a Trumbull. You always see them advancing deep and deep into the playoff bracket.
The FCIAC, a bit of a beast in and of itself because there are those outside of the FCIAC who love to, it's kind of a Yankee factor or pick whatever big-time team you want to talk about. They're kind of the beast of the state of Connecticut. Defensively for Trumbull, Alex Rousso plays left, Jack Lynch in center, Justin Waldick around and right, Andrew Lodjko at third, Danny Richowski plays shortstop, Dustin Segura at second, Vinny DeRubius at first, Chris DeCoco catching, Chris O'Brien. Tall left-hander going through his warm-ups and getting ready to face the starting lineup for the Fairfield Warde Mustangs, which will be Joey Deutsch, Jack Myers, and Giacomo Brancato in the first inning. Justin, you all settled in down below?
Yeah, I'm right behind home plate. I want to get a nice look at these pitchers. We're going to see a little bit different than what we saw in the first game on both sides from Norwalk and Darien. It was pitchers using location and deception to get outs. And this one with Natoli and O'Brien, it's some good old country hardball.
Gonna be fun. Looking forward to it. Lights on. Cloud cover overhead. Fingers crossed we don't see raindrops. And time for game number 2. I'm ready. What do you think?
I'm ready too. Let's do it.
All right, you've given the game your blessing. Let's rock and roll. First pitch, game number 2. Joey Deutsch at the plate. Fastball high and outside, 1-0 underway. 7:47. You can say 17 minutes late if you want. I say good timing. 1 ball, no strike, 64 degrees at first pitch, and it's on the way. Fouled back to the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's not too late if you have lights on.
Absolutely not. Well, it's never too late, in my opinion, at that point. It's baseball. Let's do it. Nothing like it. The 1-1 pitch will be coming, but first, the home plate umpire is gesturing to the first base dugout. We had a nice lady on the field. We have gotten her off the field. And she is over, I believe, now chatting with Josh Fisher, who quickly appeared down there. Righty-lefty matchup. Even with the bag at third is Lodgco, and the 1-1 pitch on the way. An off-speed pitch, line down the left field line. It's a base hit heading toward the wall. Backhanded and slid down out there by Rousso, and on his way to second with a leadoff double is Joey Deutsch.
Good hitting, taking that ball, kind of pulling it, but got a little in front of it and pulled it sort of down that left field line. And it was a long way for Rousso to go and get that ball, and Deutsch ends up with a leadoff double.
Looked to me like it was a high fastball, Justin, that got whacked down the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Deutsch got his arms extended, got the barrel out to the ball, and was able to rope it down the left field line. And it's such a tough corner out there. And great play by Rousso to slide in front of it and keep that from being a potential triple to start the game.
So now Jack Myers, the shortstop, will step in, right-handed hitter with a runner off second and nobody out. The winner gets Darien Wednesday night right here at the ballpark at Harbor Yard. And O'Brien's pitch on the way with bunt being shown. He pulls it back 1-0. Charging in from first was DeRubius. We will keep an eye on the weather. They say there's a chance of some drizzle around 9 o'clock. Showing bunt again, pulls it back again. 2-0.
And at this point, if you're Myers, you want to maybe look for something kind of in the, inside, right down the middle in a 2-0 count. Just wants to get a strike across.
Wind not much to account for, kind of swirling around at times. Flag blowing out and left at the moment. 2-0 on the way. Misses outside, 3-0. You got a base to work with, but my goodness, you don't want to put the first 2 on here in the top of the first.
Especially with nobody out and going right through the heart of the order.
Giacomo Brancato awaits. The 3-0 pitch still showing bunt, pulls it back. It's a called strike right down the heart of the plate, 3-1.
At that point, you're just trying to take a pitch. Maybe he's a bit rattled, throws 4 straight.
Boys lacrosse semifinals tomorrow at Brian McMahon High School. Welling on the grass is DeRubius. The 3-1 is bunted and lifted, and O'Brien makes a basket catch, 1 out.
If you're Myers, you should be a little bit disappointed in that at-bat, not being able to move the runner over, especially in a favorable count.
Absolutely. You had a 3-1 count and life to deal with, but it'll bring up Giacomo Brancato, the center fielder. And the idea of giving John Natoli an early lead is mighty delicious for Brett Connor and the Mustangs. The high set for O'Brien, and the lefty brings it home. It's low in the dirt. Grabbed by DeCoco. 1 ball, no strikes. Reese Maniscalco on deck. As Justin said, John Natoli loves pitching on the HAN network. 14 strikeouts a week ago against Norwalk, the 1-0. Swinging and missing as he took something off of it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dan, I think it was you who said to me off the air, or maybe it was Andrew Mitchell who said this is going to be a bit of a rowdier crowd. I think there's a good energy here for this second game. Nothing bad, just they're into it.
I like this kind of energy.
The 1-1 pitch. Off-speed pitch is bounced foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Justin will have a pretty good handle on that as he's down below.
Absolutely. Seems to be a more lively crowd, more into the game, certainly more sizable. Kind of a fun environment to be a part of.
Game 1 was kind of sleepy. That in part due to some traffic problems getting to the ballpark. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. No score, a runner off second. Top of the first. We're just warming up the seats here in Bridgeport for Game 2. Now the set. The 1-2. Check swing. Did he go around? He did. Strikeout number 1 for Chris O'Brien. 2 away. It'll bring up Reese Maniscalco.
This proves to be kind of an important at-bat here early in the game. You get a leadoff double by Joey Deutsch. You feel you want to get that first run across. You want to be able to have that little cushion going throughout the game to give John Natoli just a little more confidence.
Maniscalco, right-handed hitter, stands close to the plate, slightly open stance. Runner off second with 2 out. Lefty brings it home. Breaking ball stays high and outside, 1-0. We welcome Jenny Schrenker now on a camera down the right field line. Of course, the camera people can all hear me now. A.J. Simonowski down the third base line. Here's the set and the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball bounced up the middle past the dive of Ruchowski at short. On his horse, rounding third and coming home. The ball is cut off. Head first slide for Deutsch. 1-0 Ward.
Good piece of hitting there by Maniscalco, taking what appeared to be an off-speed pitch and just driving it right back up the middle for an RBI single.
I have not forgotten Eric Gendron. Grant Weiler standing right down below us, but I thank you for the reminder nonetheless.
Who can forget about Eric?
Oh, I can forget about Eric. Grant Weiler I'm not going to forget about. Our buddy standing just a few feet down the line. 1-0 game. Now John Natoli, the pitcher. He's got a 1-0 lead and a fastball called strike at the knees, 0-1. I already mentioned Andrew Mitchell, Marty Hersom, Josh Fisher, Kate Chaplinsky, Eric Gendron directing. A big crew on hand, and the 0-1 pitch with 2 outs. Swung on, bounced it at the plate, 0-2. So a run in and 1-0. Donald Eng was here. He checked out a little while ago. Bill Bloxham has switched his hat over to being a reporter again. Now the 0-2 with 2 out. Misses low. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
Definitely the theme throughout the last game and this game is aggressiveness. Both teams, at least just Ward for this part in the both teams' last game, not afraid to swing the bat early in the count.
Open stance for Natoli and the 1-2 pitch on the way. Swings and misses and down he goes. However, 1 run on 2 base hits, and it's the 2-out hit that always does the job. 1 man left on base. Fairfield puts a run on the board with Trumbull coming to bat. 1-0. You're watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network.
Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook. For more than 50 years, Triple S has been Fairfield County's expert service for carpet, upholstery, and drapery cleaning. We provide the best in repairs and in-depth restoration, understanding fabrics and how to properly clean and restore them. Our staff will come to your home to clean your wall-to-wall carpet to perfection. We can also pick up your fine carpets and bring them to our facilities with locations in Norwalk, Stamford, and Stratford. Triple S will get the job done fast, big or small. At Triple S, you can count on our people as well as our cleaning. Find us at triplesclean.com or 203-847-8000. I'm Kate Chaplinsky. Join us for Coffee Break, weekdays at 11 to get the latest Connecticut news, weather, high school sports, and more. News doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break on the HAN Network.
On we go to the last of the first inning. Dustin Cicada will lead things off. John Natoli missing on one of his last warm-up pitches. And Justin, that gets the crowd kind of fired up down below.
Yeah, absolutely. Rob Natoli let that one slip a little bit. But I think he's just a little bit jacked up, excited. He's got a 1-0 lead. The last time we saw John pitch at Harbor Yard, he struggled a bit early in the game, ended up throwing a complete game, but gave up 6 runs. The next time we saw him, a dominant performance against the Norwalk Bears. Let's see which John Natoli we get today. One thing we know for sure, we're going to get a competitor.
Yeah, Justin, like you said, in the game against Ludlow here on the HAN network, didn't have the greatest game, gave up a couple hits, couple runs, but he stayed in there. He continued to fight, got a lot of runs, and definitely saved a couple arms.
Dustin Cicada will lead things off in the last of the first inning. The second baseman will be followed by Andrew Lodgko and Krista Coco. 1-0, and Natoli ready to rock and deal. Here it comes. Fastball misses outside, 1-0. We'll set the defense in a moment. A cool, comfortable night in the 1-0 pitch on the way. Fastball again, low, 2 balls and no strikes. Owen Berndorf plays left, Giacomo Brancato in center, Bobby Lazar around in right. Will set the defense of the infield after the 2-0 pitch. Lifted Fallon out of play, first base side, 2 balls and a strike. Joey Deutsch is at third, Jack Myers at short, Alex Steele at second. Reese Maniscalco plays first with Danny DiBartolomeo behind the plate, and John Natoli on the mound with a 2-ball, 1-strike count to Dustin Cicada. That misses just a hair outside, 3-1. Lots of room in left center field. The 3-1 pitch on the way. Swings and misses, 3-2. So Cicada checks out, takes a big hack or two, climbs back into the right-handed batter's box, and he's ready and waiting on a 3-2 from Natoli. It's outside, ball 4.
A good at-bat to start the bottom of the first, especially after allowing a run. You want to get the leadoff guy and then just kind of building toward that 2, 3, 4. And Cicada has a little bit of speed, so you want to see if they try and get him in motion, get a runner in scoring position.
Here's Andrew Lodgko, right-handed hitter, steps in against the righty. The check of the runner in a 1-0 game and the pitch on the way. That's on the outside corner at the knees, 0-1. He'll feature that fastball. He'll bring in the breaking stuff as well. Natoli has excellent stuff. Even with the bag at third is Deutsch, and it's a called strike, quickly 0-2.
One thing for Trumbull, you don't want to get in a hole against Natoli because he has such a variety of pitches where he can get you out on basically anything.
Natoli Deutsch started in, but this is outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Deutsch now playing further back, while Maniscalco holds on the runner off first. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out, 1-0 Ward. Pitch on the way. Took something off of it, and down he goes on strike. Strikeout number 1 for Natoli, 1 out.
A good breaking pitch for Natoli. Like I said, 1-2 count. Loico just protecting the plate. Reach for something on the outside. First out.
By the way, I did not forget to mention Sean Saylor is also here as well, just in case we need to clear that up.
The man, the myth, the legend.
He sure is. He hates to be called that, though. Throw over to first, and diving back safely is Cicada. Bottom of the first inning, 1-0 Ward on the 2-out RBI single by Reese Maniscalco. Now Cicada gets the lead. Pitch on the way. Slider dives inside and then drop low. 1 ball, no strikes. Krista Coco, the catcher, also a right-handed hitter. Alex Rosso on deck. The 1-0 is skied down the right field line. Over to give it a look was Maniscalco, but it'll bounce a good 8 rows back.
And right near the Darien team, staying after to watch their opponent.
Well, they said they wouldn't say the words "if we win." Mike King, Mike Scott, the head coach, said if. And you knew what he meant. That's outside, 2-1. Two balls, one strike. Bottom of the first in a 1-0 game. Thinking Mike King because he's right there and joining us in a little bit. The 2-1. Misses outside, 3 balls and a strike. Cicada on at first on the walk. Then Lojko struck out. Now DeCoco with Rosso on deck. The set and the pitch. Swings and misses. A little country hard ball there, 3-2. Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. 1-0, bottom of the first. Natoli from the stretch, sets at the letters, checks the runner, throws over, back safely with a head-first dive is Cicada. Right-handers not always known for their pickoff move. That's more of a left-handed specialty. But a righty can get a good move over there. He's just got to be quick on his feet. The coordination is so key. The 3-2. Runner goes, lashed foul, slicing down the first base line and well out of play. It stays 3-2.
We did have one hit and run work in the last game, Darien and Norwalk.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. A payoff pitch on the way, and here it comes. Lashed foul again. That'll pinball around over in the bleachers. And the count remains full. I-95 traffic moving nicely well beyond the left field corner here and out of the view of our cameras. The 3-2 with 1 out, lifted foul and out of play. These balls not making I-95, but they're getting close to hitting the train tracks. It stays 3-2.
A good at-bat by DeCoco right now, fouling off 3 straight pitches right here, getting a good idea of what Natoli throws and what his prime locations are.
Of course, this is we're after 8 o'clock. Traffic generally not a problem, he says, knocking on wood. The 3-2 pitch runs inside. Didn't matter. It's a dead ball. Now time is called as it was fouled off, so we'll do it again. This is a good battle here. 10th pitch of the at-bat coming up here. A lead off first, but not a big lead for Cicada. He's at the edge of the cutout. Maniscalco holding him on. Payoff with 1 out. Push to the right side and through. It's a base hit. Hitting the bag at second, on his way to third. Cicada, the throw will be cut off. Well, it was going to be cut off. It rolled to third, and backing it up was Deutsch. First and third, 1 out.
What an at-bat by DeCoco after fouling off so many pitches. A hit and run, perfectly executed, punches it right where the second base spot was. Cicada not even breaking stride, heads all the way over to third. You have runners at the corners with 1 out.
It'll bring up Alex Rousseau, the left fielder. Justin, what do you have down below?
Well, pretty cool storyline coming off that at-bat and this one. DeCoco, Rousseau, and Natoli, longtime summer travel ball teammates. So pretty cool that they get to face off here at Harbor Yard with a spot in the FCIAC Championship on the line.
And Rousseau takes a called strike, 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. In on the edge of the grass at third is Deutsch. Here's the pitch and a line drive to right field, base hit. Scoring Cicada, we have a tie ball game.
That's just how you want to respond if you're Trumbull. Not even worrying much about that 1 run, going out, having good at-bats against Natoli, and getting that run right back.
And taking what's offered to you. In this case, going with the pitch and sending it to the right side. Here's Chris O'Brien. The old saying is he can help himself, and he lifts a sky fly ball going in, and now over the head of Burendorf, who started in. Rounding third, it'll be cut off, sliding home to make it a 2-1 game is DeCoco.
See, that's a play as an outfielder that you may not be familiar with playing in a ballpark like this. As you can see, he just looked up at the lights, possibly in what it appeared to be that he lost it in the lights there, came in a little bit too much, realized the ball was over his head, and retreated.
So we'll get a visit to the mound. And Justin, that was something I mentioned to you in the opening of the game. What about the lights? Does that play into this?
Yeah, certainly that ball could have gotten caught in the lights, and we saw it in Natoli's last start. His outfield defense kind of hurt him. I think it was 3 balls that dropped in that should have pretty much been routine pop-ups. That one obviously should have been a routine flyout, but Brett Connor goes out to the mound now, talks to his guys, and it's kind of just pushing the reset button. We're down 2-1 now, but we know we can score runs offensively. Let's hold it here, get back in the dugout, and let's get to the top of the second. But just a reset on everything. Let's not let the game get out of hand right away.
2-1 now. Robert Ola, the designated hitter, will step in. Left-handed hitter. John Natoli, we mentioned a week ago, 97 pitches, 7 innings, 1 run unearned, 4 hits. He struck out 14 against Norwalk. A different start here tonight. And the pitch on the way. He swings and misses at a breaking ball, 0-1.
If you're Ward, you don't want to stress too much about it. It's the bottom of the first. You can still get out of it with minimum damage. And what you proved in the first inning is you can hit the ball. You can hit O'Brien, so there's no much need to worry.
Pitch on the way is a line drive moving over to his left and a diving play. They're saying he caught it. The throw on to third moving, so a diving catch in left center field by Giacomo Brancato. The umpires say yes. Now they're going to throw to second. Yes, it's going to be a double play.
Wow.
Now that's got to get an argument from Phil Pacelli and the Eagles. Brancato, did he make the catch in left center field? It's a good question. Looks to us like he made it. I thought he made it from here.
Sean Saylor sitting right next to me says he thinks he left a little bit early.
Regardless, we step out. 2 runs. We go to the second inning. 2-1, Trumbull on top of Ward. You're watching the 2016 FCIAC Baseball Semifinals on the HAN Network.
Walter Stewart's Market in New Canaan is your time-saving local shopping destination for the best of spring. Find many of your favorite products, from great specials on everyday items to the freshest organic produce, artisanal cheeses, and grass-fed steaks. Drop off your knives to be sharpened, grab a beautiful bouquet of spring flowers, and stop in next door for a wine tasting. Plus, their personable staff is always ready to lend a helping hand. So stop in to Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street today, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
I'm Kate Chaplinsky. Join us for Coffee Break, weekdays at 11 to get the latest Connecticut news, weather, high school sports, and more. News doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break on the HAN Network.
On to the second inning we go at the ballpark at Harbor Yard. 2-1 the score. Now in game number 1, we had an athletic director visit us, his team on the negative side of the ledger. This time the AD coming on is on the positive side of the ledger as we go to inning number 2, but we are only in the second inning. Mike King, the athletic director at Trumbull High School, joins us. Xavier Espinel will be the first man up against Chris O'Brien. Lefty-righty matchup, or rather lefty-lefty, and the lefty brings it home. Fastball inside, 1-0. Mike, good to see you.
Thanks a lot for having me.
You're here in part to talk about the gentleman you're sitting with tonight. He's a pretty good guy, that one.
Yeah, John's the best.
Pitch is fouled back, off to the left of us. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tell me about your relationship with John Kutzo.
John's been a great mentor. I think I've been really spoiled in my career to be around some great people. Nick Giancola at West Hill, Danny Sullivan at Windsor Locks, and I just feel blessed that I've had the time to be around him.
And what a play there going up the middle. That's some nice defense we see right there, 1 out.
What a great job by it was the shortstop Richalski making a nice play, ranging all the way across the diamond. His momentum taking him to first base, and a great throw retires Espinal.
You know, as an AD, I give you credit. You stayed calm during that. That was a heck of a play.
I've watched a lot of baseball games this season.
Here's Danny DeBartolomeo in a 2-1 ball game. Pitches on the way. It's outside, 1-0. He seems to have mentored a lot of people. You know, even folks like me that I've gotten to know him over the past couple of years, you learn so much about high school athletics from John. That misses 2-0.
Yeah, and more so just about life and how to go about your business and how to treat people, and he's quite a role model.
The 2-0 on the way with 1 out. Misses low. 3-0. How are your emotions on a night like this? You know, you're watching your team, your athletes, your student athletes. You know, how do you hold it together on a night like this?
Honestly, I still get excited like I was coaching or playing. I love big games like this and have a lot of meaning, and you're in a special arena like this, and I think it's great that these kids get to play in this ballpark, and there's a lot on the line, and these kids, you know, you forget that they're young. They're 16, 17, 18 years old, but they've been preparing for this type of stuff for 10 years.
It, to me, is so cool to come into this ballpark, and I'm so glad that the FCIAC continues to have a relationship here and, you know, hold these big games in this building, and not only these games, but regular season games as well. It really is a cool place for these kids to come play. 3-2 on the way, swings and bounces it foul.
Yeah, it'd be a shame if we had this in our backyard and we weren't able to take advantage of it.
I totally agree.
Mike, your Trumbull has made Harvey Yard, I believe, the past 3 years, making it in the championship 2 years ago, making the semifinals last year. What's been working really for Trumbull? The coaching staff, the players. What has it mostly been?
You know, anytime you have success, it's not one person, it's not one thing, it's a culmination. It starts with kids. We got great kids. They're good people. They're good baseball players. They're passionate about it. They work hard. We have a staff that's been in place for a while, and they're comfortable with each other, and they know what they're doing. I think we have good youth baseball in town that's providing a good feeder program for our high school program. And, you know, good freshmen and JV coaches as well. You know, they bring them along.
We've mentioned John a couple of times, but I would be remiss if I don't mention Ralph King as well, and the legacy he also has in this conference.
Yeah,
3-2 on the inside corner, and down he goes.
He was a hell of a coach, I can tell you that. And he's been a real good league administrator as well. But he was quite a competitor, not one you wanted to face.
What will your role be going forward? Are you how active? I mean, you're always active in the conference. Moving into next year, you know, Dave Schultz taking over. What will your role be?
My term as president is over, and Jay Egan, the athletic director at New Canaan, will be replacing me. He'll do his 2-year stint. I'll remain on the executive board in the past president role, and continue to be involved with the board of directors, and start working with Dave. I'm excited about it.
The 0-1 pitch on the way. 2-1 ball game, 2 out. Lined foul, and that bounces around like you rarely see. Dangerous ball right there. Everybody seems to be okay, and quickly 0-2.
That was almost a disaster there.
My goodness. It's just a great reminder. You have to keep your eyes open at a ball game. Now time called. Bobby Lazar steps back in with an 0-2 count. 2-1 ball game. Everybody seems to be okay. Now the 0-2 on the way with 2 out. That's low. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You know, going back to ask me what am I going to do, and, you know, I mentioned Dave Schultz. When you lose a John Kutso who's been involved in the league for 45-plus years, it's hard to replace that. Those are some big shoes. I think the league is really fortunate to have Dave stepping in, who's going to do a wonderful job.
The 1-2 slides away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I think that's important. You know, you're keeping, again, legacy. That's important to keep these great people around.
Absolutely, and, you know, it's kind of a daunting task to replace John, and I know Dave's up for the challenge.
2-2 is a called strike 3. Down he goes on strikes. Nothing across for the Mustangs in the top of the second inning. We head to the bottom of the second inning. 2-1. Trumbull on top of Warde. You're watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network.
A Better View Window Cleaning Plus has been cleaning glass all over Connecticut for over 20 years. They also specialize in cleaning chandeliers, mirrors, skylights, tiles, and will power wash anything that needs cleaning. They hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and are fully insured and bonded. When you deal with the Better View, you're dealing with the best, not the rest. Call today for a free estimate, 203-284-8836, or visit them online, abetterviewcleaning.com. At the Language School in Ridgefield, we teach practical language for real life, tailored to your professional needs or those of your children. Offering more than a dozen languages, the school specializes in creating customized classes for businesses, government agencies, and healthcare professionals in Fairfield and Westchester counties. Native speakers from around the world will instruct students of all ages in the language and the culture using a hands-on method. Find out more about what makes us different at thelanguageschoolglobal.com or call us at 203-241-7010.
Back at the ballpark at Harbor Yard as we go to the bottom of the second inning. It'll be Justin Waldick, Vinny DeRubius, and Jack Lynch due up for the Trumbull Eagles. Their athletic director, Mike King, staying with us, talking about the legacy of those stepping down, but also at the same time, this conference, we talk about it all the time, and you know, it's going to seem like home cooking on my part, Mike, and I understand that, but I've been involved with the FCIAC now probably 18 years, and I mean, I enjoy all the Connecticut sports I've covered, but the FCIAC, there's something special about it. First pitch of the bottom of the second is a called strike, 0-1.
You were not wrong by saying that at all, and I think it's clearly evidenced by the number of championships that come from this league. There's just a lot of dominance from this league, and it speaks to the quality coaching, the great athletes that we have, the hard work and dedication that these athletes are willing to put into it.
Line drive caught at short by Jack Myers, 1 out.
I was speaking with a lacrosse official the other day who said he did a D3 game, and he said that he thought there were some FCIAC teams that would walk out there and beat both those teams.
Yeah.
And we're blessed with a ton of athletes.
Vinny DeRubius tried to hold up, but he went around. No balls and a strike.
And it's not just in one sport. It's in everything. Basketball, football, lacrosse. But it's all over the place. It's not just in one main sport.
Pitch on the way. The 0-1 is a slider. Misses away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You're so right. And when it comes to the state tournament, these kids are so prepared because they've had such a strong regular season. And then they've gone through the FCIAC tournament. And they get to the state tournament, and they're battle-tested.
2 balls, 1 strike, 2-1 the score, bottom of the second at the ballpark at Harbor Yard. The winner of this game gets the Darien Blue Wave on Wednesday. John Natoli ready with a 2-1 pitch. Here in the second inning, it's on the way. A called strike right down the heart of the plate, 2-2. But there's also the proof in those championships that you talk about. You know, we've seen the FCIAC win a lot of good things. Dominate lacrosse last year, for instance. The 2-2 slides away, 3-2. Hockey. Darien back on top. I mean, we haven't seen a D1 public school win in a long time, and Darien's won 2 in a row. 3-2 pitch is pushed to the right side and through for a 1-out hit.
And that just breeds confidence in the athletes and the coaches and the schools that, you know, when they go and they play these big games, they're ready and they can win it.
That's right.
When they set their team goals at the beginning of the season to win a state championship, it's not unrealistic. Often.
No, I mean, we go around on the FCIAC tour, and I'm asking every team, what are your goals for this year? They try to be realistic, but the realistic is getting here. This is fouled back by Jack Lynch, 0-1.
And the FCIAC sometimes, it's always so wide open, just like baseball, just like basketball, that one team that was possibly a sleeper could finish third, second, first to top the conference, and then have all that confidence going into the state tournament.
To that end, we've got a 7 seed right here. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out. That 7 seed is trailing 2-1 to Trumbull.
But look at the talent this 7 seed has.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Deutsch in on the grass at third. The 0-1 on the way. Slider swung and missed. 0-2.
How many leagues in the state would they not be a 1, 2, or 3 seed in?
That's very true. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. A 2-1 ball game. Bottom of the second. Under the lights. Pitch on the way. That's high. Wasted one, a ball and 2 strikes.
And I think it's the depth in the league that makes this so great. It's not 2 or 3 top-heavy teams. You know, like you said, any of these 8 teams could win this today. Nobody had a gimme in the first round.
The 1-2 misses outside, 2-2.
We were talking off air. We had a walk-off. We had a 20-3 win, and then we also had a 2-1 walk-off. So it all depends on, you know, if you can get out to a good start, if you have the momentum.
That walk-off was Trumbull beating St. Joe's. The 2-2 pitch on the way. Pushed foul back to the screen. It stays 2-2. So I guess what we're saying is maybe we're blowing smoke, but it's certainly, if not the best conference in the state, boy, it's right there. And I'm going to try to say objectively it is the best conference in the state. Now the set and the 2-2 on the way with 1 out. Swung on and missed. Down he goes on strikes, 2 away. Second strikeout for John Natoli, back to the top of the order, and Dustin Cicada. He walked and scored his first time.
Especially when not many conferences can have their league tournament at a ballpark like this. Or possibly at an arena like Harbor Yard.
Pitch on the way. He swings. Big bouncer to the left side. Waiting on it is Myers. He throws across, and the inning comes to an end. Mike, thank you so much for your time. Great to see you.
It's great seeing you guys again, and thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure. Mike King, the athletic director at Trumbull High School. They lead Ward 2-1 as we head into the 3rd inning. It is 2-1. You're watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network.
For over 25 years, Mike Cizik Painting and Wallpapering has been the name to know for residential and commercial properties in Fairfield County. He uses only the top brands, including Benjamin Moore, for impeccable preparation and lasting quality. Call Mike now and receive $500 off any job over $7,000. Mike is currently accepting reservations for spring, so call him today at 203-770-8869 or 203-972-3310. For your custom painting, finishing, and staining needs, it's Mike Cizik.
Can't wait for it to get warmer so you can start fishing again? Get over to the Dock Shop, where they have the latest in fishing tackle, marine electronics, boating supplies, and more. But remember, the Dock Shop isn't your average tackle shop. You'll also find the finest selection of nautical apparel, jewelry, home decor, and gifts in New England. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
At Harbor Yard. Robin, Dan, and Justin still down below. Justin, catch us up. What's going on down below?
Well, guys, I spent the last couple innings talking with actually a couple guys who have coached John Natoli for the past 7 years in summer baseball, and they told me what's so special about John is that growing up, he was actually a pretty small kid, didn't throw very hard, and didn't have great stuff. He learned how to pitch using location and off-speed pitches, and now that he's gotten bigger, grown into his body, and has the velocity, that makes him even more special.
And for Fairfield Warde, they've got a special fan watching. This rolls foul, first base side, 0-1. Dan Orlovsky, the one-time Shelton High School quarterback, is watching his buddy Brett Connor, or as he says, hashtag Connor, C-O-T-Y. Ready to go with Owen Burendorf, and an 0-1 pitch. Fastball runs inside, 2 balls and no strikes. A lot of room in right center field for the left-handed hitter, and O'Brien brings it home. But this is a big bouncer to the right side, bouncing in and grabbing it to throw to first to Cicada, 1 out. I'll bring you back in. Sorry about that.
It's all right. Good play by Cicada, charging in and then gathering himself and be able to make the nice throw to first base.
Joey Deutsch is 1 for 1, doubled and scored in the first. Chris O'Brien climbs back on the hill, ready to go. And the lefty brings it home. Big breaking ball is a called strike, 0-1. Even with the bag at third is Lodgko. Rest of the infield plays back, But again, a lot of room up the middle and then to right center. Pitch, check swing. Did he go around? He did. First base umpire punched him 0-2.
And with one out, you can still get something going. Deutsch led off the game with a double and eventually came around to score. So if you're O'Brien, you still want to work carefully even with an 0-2 count.
Now the 0-2 pitch coming with one out in a 2-1 ball game. Fastball low and outside, 1-2. We are looking forward to Fairfield Warde Athletic Director Seth Fry joining us before the evening is over as well. The 1-2 on the way with one out. Big breaking ball. Down he goes on strikes. That's 4 strikeouts now for O'Brien, 2 away.
And guys, one reason for O'Brien's effectiveness, I'm sitting right behind the plate, so I'm trying to get the view that a batter gets. He turns his back all the way almost towards the second baseman, which makes it look like the ball's coming from over there for a right-handed hitter. Very difficult to reach.
Fastball drops low, 1-0 to Myers.
You could say it's related to maybe a Johnny Cueto, where he spins his body around and is able to kind of hide the ball from the hitter.
A good comparison. The 1-0 is a check swing, stays outside, 2-0.
Which at times can make it very difficult, especially if you're throwing an off-speed pitch. The batter can't really catch it until it's out of his hand.
The 2-0 pitch on the way. Fastball, swung and a miss, 2 balls and a strike. We don't see quite the herky-jerky motions. There used to be a lot more of them so many years ago. It's become a little more common to see a straight-up wind-up. Here it is, 2-1. Misses low, 3-1.
Short and sweet.
Yes.
Nothing fancy about it, just winding up, throwing the pitch.
I'll spare you the history lesson, but you get the idea. 3-1 pitch on the way with 2 out. 2-1 ball game. Fastball outside corner, 3-2.
And truly the most important thing, herky-jerky, over the head, sidearm, underhand, whatever you want to say, is repeatable mechanics.
Exactly. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. 2-1 Trumbull. 3rd inning, pitch on the way. Big bouncer off the glove of O'Brien, and then past shortstop it goes under the glove of Ruchowski. That was a tough ball to play. On at first is Myers.
He went for the home run play right there, and either you make a really nice scoop on it or you do what happened right there. It skips right up your arm and into left center field.
It is nice sometimes to just look at the scoreboard and see if they put the H or the E up. Gives me less to think about, but they have yet to indicate.
I would like to say it's a hit.
I think they have indicated hit, actually, so we're going to give him a base hit. Justin, you have any argument?
Yeah, well, it tipped off the pitcher's glove, so it can't be an error on the shortstop.
I agree. Here's Giacomo Brancato, takes a breaking ball, misses outside, 1-0.
As a pitcher for O'Brien, it's so hard not to stick your glove out at that one, but you really have to do everything in your power not to, because that was a pretty routine ground ball to shortstop, but instincts just take over.
The 1-0, nicely framed on the outside corner by DeCoco, 1-1.
See, here's probably one of the first times we get to see O'Brien with a runner at first. We have that lefty move. We saw a pickoff from a lefty in the last game. We'll see what maybe his A move is.
The 1-1 pitch with 2 out in a 2-1 ball game. Big chopper to third, grabbed right at the bag, thrown across by Lodgko, and the inning comes to an end. 5-3 on the putout, and down go the Mustangs in the top of the 3rd inning. They get no runs on a hit with no errors, and they leave one. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. 2-1, Trumbull on top of Warde in the FCIAC Semifinals on the HAN Network.
Alberto Londano Professional Painting, Wallpapering, and Carpentry has been serving Fairfield County for over 20 years. Based in Norwalk, Alberto takes pride in his work by offering you only the best quality service and products. Call Alberto today to get a free estimate and be one step closer to a new and exciting home makeover. 203-866-9635. You're watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. Nearly 1 million people have watched our live sports, news, and entertainment programming since the network launched in August 2015. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
At the ballpark at Harbor Yard, we go to the bottom half of the third inning in Bridgeport on a lovely night. Yes, the cloud cover overhead, trying to avoid the raindrops, but a beautiful evening to be here watching baseball. The Darien Blue Wave have already punched their ticket to the conference championship game. They won earlier today, knocking off the Norwalk Bears 5-1. Right now, Trumbull leading Warde as we head to the bottom of the third inning. Andrew Lojko takes low and outside, 1-0. We hope wherever you are enjoying it. And, of course, if you know the drill, then you know what's coming next. The 1-0 fastball on the inside corner, a called strike, 1-1. Tweet us at HAN Network CT. Tell us where you're watching from. We love saying where we're getting the tweets from. 1-1, off speed, a breaking ball misses, 2 balls and a strike. Dan, however, is not allowed to tweet me from right next to me saying he's watching from Bridgeport, the 2-1. On the inside corner, a called strike, 2-2. I know Andrew Mitchell once did that during hockey. Tweeted and said he's on his way. He's going to watch the championship game from Stamford in hockey, and he did just that.
Looks like that tweet's going in my drafts now.
2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out with nobody on. And the pitch on the way. Bouncer up the middle, grabbed near the bag by Jack Myers. He throws across and 1 out. Now, Justin, on the other hand, I think it'd be kind of funny if he tweeted watching from the lower deck of the ballpark at Harbor Yard.
Yeah, I haven't filled out a tweet yet about it, but I think you might get one for me if it starts raining like you keep mentioning.
All right, up comes Chris DeCoco, 1 for 1. It was a 2-out RBI single. Or I beg your pardon, a 1-out RBI single in the first. He takes low and away, 1-0.
And also a very good quality at bat, fouling off a bunch of pitches and probably getting the best view of Natoli in his pitches by any player on Trumbull so far.
Alex Rousso on deck in a 2-1 ball game. Breaking ball is served to the right side and into right field. Again, a 1-out hit. DeCoco, 2 for 2. Of course, he had the walk-off hit. Some don't like that term walk-off. It's become a more common term over the past, say, 25 to 30 years, but I know some types who don't like that term for whatever reason. But he's 2 for 2.
You just like the sound of it, walk-off. You're walking off with a win. I mean, it's...
Well, you're walking off the field.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, I would think so. Alex Rousso, 1 for 1. He had an RBI single. Check of the runner and the pitch on the way. Fastball, lashed foul. Look out, Jenny Schrenker. See, Jenny can hear me. She's nodding. See, this is why I like this new system. Last year, a similar thing happened, and we almost had a camera person get hit here at the ballpark. They couldn't hear me to warn them. No balls and a strike. Off first, and the pitch on the way. A called strike on the inside corner, 0-2. Natoli finding his groove, working much faster now.
What Marty always tells us when we come to games is, ball comes at you, defend yourself, not the camera.
Safety is not an accident. That's a quote from Martin V. Hersom. The 1-2 on the way is lifted foul and out of play. We'll do it again. (2-1) Trumbull. We're in the third. It's still an 0-2. Scoreboard had 1-2, so I am erasing that off my scorecard. The 1-2 with 1 out. Lash foul. Look out, Jenny. Got to keep you safe over there.
Don't think she wants to do this anymore.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Infield looks for 2 up the middle. Outfield plays it straight away. Bragging about what a beautiful night this is as that gets back to the backstop. Grabbed by DeBartolomeo. On to second goes to Coco.
Just a pitch that ran a little bit too inside as Rousso had to bend out of the way there, and DeCoco takes second easily.
So he'll climb back in. Natoli looks things over. Leans in to get his sign from DeBartolomeo. Straightens up, now brings it home. Breaking ball, bounced foul.
Good job by spoiling that pitch by Rousso.
Chris O'Brien on deck. He's 1 for 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out, bottom of the third, 2-1 Trumbull. Set at the letters, and Tolley looks it over and brings it home. Breaking ball, pushed to the right side. He'll get the runner to third. Grabbed at second and thrown on to first by Alex Steele. 4-3 on the putout. Over to third goes to Coco.
Still a productive out there by Rouzo. Even though with 2 outs, he got the runner over to third base. So now anything, a wild pitch, pass ball, whatever, now gets that run in.
Here's Chris O'Brien. He singled his first time up. Drove in a run as well. And he's ready. That miss low and away, 1-0. Traffic looks like it's slowing up a bit on 95.
They want to watch the game.
I don't blame them. 1-0. Called strike on an off-speed pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Can we create a term for like rubbernecking but watching baseball?
They're almost close enough they could turn on an FM radio and get our signal.
Yes.
Runner off third, the 1-1. Low and inside and backing out of the way. Over to grab it, nicely blocked by DeBartolomeo. 2 balls and 1 strike.
We'll shape ourselves like the Mets broadcasters. We'll just like trick them.
2 balls, 1 strike, 2 out. As the Amtrak makes its way by. That misses, 3-1. That's probably the Northeast. Gosh, I can't think of it. The Northeast Regional. Thank you. It says it right on the train. Nice and convenient. The 3-1. Runs inside, back to the backstop. On to try to score and sliding in safely without a throw is to Coco. It's a 3-1 ball game. On at first goes O'Brien. 2 wild pitches for Natoli and a run in.
And that's where that productive out came with 2 outs. Now a wild pitch like that with a backstop here at the ballpark, it makes it an easy run.
They'll bring up Robert Ola, who takes 1-0. So Natoli not with his best stuff. He is now walked 2, and DeBartolomeo is going to go out and calm him down.
Although before that wild pitch, DeBartolomeo has made some excellent stops behind the plate on a couple of Natoli off-speed pitches.
The Trumbull Eagles are here to remind everyone that they are in this championship game for a reason. Or excuse me, in the semifinal game, trying to get to the championship game, a called strike. Trumbull, the 3 seed, trying to advance to play number 1 Darien. The 1-1 pitch. Grounded to the right side and pinballs off of Steele. Couldn't recover. It's an E4. On to second goes O'Brien. First error of the night.
That's a big play. Runners, now you have runners at first and second, 2 outs. Momentum still on Trumbull's side after getting that run on the wild pitch. And now you have a chance to extend that lead.
Here's Justin Waldeck, who lined to short his first time. So 2 on, 2 out, 3-1 ball game. He takes low and inside, 1-0. Justin, back down to you. What are you seeing from John Natoli?
Well, I think you have to give the credit to Trumbull. Their at-bats have been really solid. They're doing a good job letting the ball get deep, and they're not afraid to get in 2-strike counts, spoiling off pitches, going the other way, just like that.
Nice pick at third by Deutsch. The high throw, and he got him. Nice play over there by the Warde third baseman to save more damage. But Trumbull does put a run on the board. There was an error, a hit as well, and 2 left. We're through 3 in the second semifinal game at the ballpark at Harbor Yard as Metro North rolls by. Trumbull 3, Fairfield Warde 1. You're watching the 2016 FCIAC Baseball Semifinals on the HAN Network.
Connecticut is coming back to hometown banking, to a partner that makes small businesses feel big, where community comes first, where you get the know-how only neighbors can deliver, where saving time is important too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well. With the 24-month Bank Well Smart CD, you can earn 1.35% APY and raise your rate and add to your CD.
What's happening up in Hartford and what's trending in the Nutmeg State.
Join Kate Chaplinsky
And Josh Fisher
on CT Pulse live Wednesdays at 12:30 to find out.
We talk to the leaders and newsmakers while breaking down the stories you should be paying attention to each week.
With the help of HAN's editorial cartoonist Doug Smith, we take a humorous look at the news of the week. We talk about everything you were told you should avoid bringing up in polite company.
CT Pulse, Wednesdays at 12:30 on the HAN Network.
Welcome back to the ballpark at Harbor Yard in Bridgeport. Of course, always trying to improve and better the city of Bridgeport, and some new construction you can kind of see straight out from us, and off camera from the shot we have up, but well beyond the center field fence, the addition of the Bass Pro Shop that opened back in, I believe, December, if I recall, late November, early December. Happened to be out there. They actually had the former Yankee great, Johnny Damon, who played for another team as well.
Say what you want, but 2 homers, Game 7, 2004 ALCS.
We're not talking pro sports. We're back to high school sports. On to the 4th we go. Reese Maniscalco will lead things off. John Natoli and Xavier Espinel will follow.
I remember how big it was just a huge deal when that Bass Pro Shop opened. I remember the traffic around here was immense. It was ridiculous. I remember my dad, who loves to go to Bass Pro Shops, it took him forever just to get there.
Yeah, we were there on opening night as well. First pitch, misses outside, 1-0. My cousin and I went, in fact. Maniscalco 1 for 1, singled his first time. But it's certainly a tourist attraction and just a little more to do around the Bridgeport area as he swings and misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. But what people should do is come off I-95 and come right into this place and watch the Bridgeport Bluefish in the Atlantic League, and among the other things that they have right here. 1 ball, 1 strike, pitch on the way, 4th inning. That's upstairs, 2-1. The kindness of everyone here, from Paul Herman right on through Jamie Toole and the rest of the Bluefish organization, they are so kind to let us come in and do what we do here. The 2-1 is swung and a miss, 2-2.
And I believe the Bluefish have a Norwalk High School alum pitching for them this year.
They do. That is true.
From what I read in the news.
Matt Iannazzo.
Yes.
The 2-2 pitch on the way with nobody out. Swung on and missed. Down goes Maniscalco. Pitch was out of the strike zone. Strikeout number 5 for O'Brien, 1 away. So it'll bring up John Natoli, a strikeout victim, back in the first.
The pitcher with the 4, John Natoli.
Natoli will be followed by Xavier Espinel, who's 0 for 1. And the pitch on the way from O'Brien. On the outside corner with a fastball, 0-1. 1 run, 3 hits, 1 error for Ward. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors for Trumbull.
But a very well-played game all around.
It's been an enjoyable one. Open stance Natoli. He closes it and skies it on the infield. Racing in from first, DeRubius. Nope, it'll be taken instead by the big pitcher, O'Brien. 2 out.
Usually you don't want your pitcher going after a play like that. Usually you'd have the first baseman, third baseman, depending which side of the mound it's on. But in that case, he didn't really have to move much.
The concern is you might tumble down off the mound as you're looking up at the ball. Your perception will get lost and that you'll tumble. Same with the play we saw earlier as you step on the bag at any base to make a catch as you're looking up, as Espinel swings and misses, 0-1. Danny DiBartolomeo on deck. The 0-1 pitch on the way with 2 out in a 3-1 ball game, swinging and missing. Espinel looking like he's going for the downs. It's 0-2. Those railroad tracks past the 325 marker and right, inviting. The 0-2 pitch on the way with 2 down. Swings, popped right back up above our heads. Will it tumble back to us? It will not. Stays 0-2.
Wait, I want a chance back here. I'm ready. I'm ready to just snag it. Should have brought my glove, though.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Now the lefty brings it home. The 0-2 is lifted right back to Marty Hersom. Couldn't grab it with the right hand.
The headphones held him back, I think.
It was the headphones.
It was the headphones.
Now the 0-2, low and outside, a ball and 2 strikes. And the crew got him on camera. So we will all not be here by the end of the night. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out, 3-1 ball game. It's on the way. Right back to the screen. They're taking target practice at us. Xavier Espinel having a good time and a good at-bat.
Does he not like us or something? I don't get the memo.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 down, 3-1 ball game. Trumbull on top of Warde, trying to advance to the FCIAC Championship to take on Darien on Wednesday night. O'Brien stands straight up, brings the 1-2 home. Back up the middle it goes, ranging over behind the bag, grabbed there by Cicada, throws on to first, and the inning comes to an end. A quick inning for Chris O'Brien as the Trumbull Eagles send the Mustangs down in order. 3 up, 3 down. We move to the bottom of the 4th inning. Trumbull 3, Warde 1. You are watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network. Bottom of the 4th inning, great atmosphere, having a great time. 3-1 ball game as we go to the last of the 4th. Due up for Trumbull will be Vinny DeRubius, Jack Lynch, and the top of the order with Dustin Cicada. And alongside Dan Gardella, Justin Galanti down below. I'm Rob Adams. Happy you're along as we salute the legacy of our friend John Kutzo, who checked out a few moments ago. And we will talk with John later in the week. And we'll talk with many more athletic directors and folks who know Mr. Kutzo. I've had the pleasure of knowing him for a few years myself, but really gotten to know him well this year. Bottom of the 4th, and the pitch on the outside corner to DeRubius. 0-1. For John Natoli, probably in need of a shutdown inning after the last go-around. The pitch is bounced foul, 0-2.
And just 1, 2, 3, or just getting out with a minimum amount of pitches could get him going into the next couple of innings and get in a groove.
The unofficial pitch count, 6 at 66, coming up right here on an 0-2. Ran it inside and hit him. And DeRubius will go to first.
And that's the last thing you want to do on an 0-2 count. You have him really in the palm of your hand, and then it looked like DeRubius was crowding the plate a little bit and just tried to bust it inside and hit him.
Jack Lynch is 0 for 1, struck out his first time.
Center fielder number 2, Jack Lynch.
Boys lacrosse semis tomorrow from Brian McMahon High School. On the air at 5, throw over to first, and they do that really to see if they'll tip their hand. Jack Lynch indeed tipped his hand. He was all set to bunt. So he'll climb back in. 3-1 ball game. Not even given any pretense, bunts it to the mound. Natoli fields and fires. Maniscalco puts the foot on the bag. Sacrifice successful. DeRubius to second, 1 out.
Good job getting the bunt down.
1-3 on the put out. Justin, down below, your thoughts?
Well, Coach Pacelli going with small ball there with the top of his order coming up. Some people are against giving away outs, but I think in that situation, you're 9-hitter up. Now you have a man in scoring position for the top of the order, and with your pitcher O'Brien locked in, maybe one more run could do it.
Cicada grounds it to the right side of the mound, first base side, and the put out goes 1-3 as Natoli throws him out, 2 away.
In the sense, another sort of sacrifice, but we're in the same situation as we were last inning. Runner at third, 2 outs, and a wild pitch brought him in. So Deep Bartolomeo is going to try and do a great job stopping another ball from going to the backstop.
Andrew Lojko is 0 for 2, struck out and grounded to short. Pitch misses low and away, 1-0. So a runner at third now and 2 out. Last of the fourth at the ballpark at Harbor Yard. 3-1 Trumbull on top of Warde in the FCIAC semifinal. And a big fourth run 90 feet away. A called strike at the knees, 1-1. And the infamous Marty Hersom baseball is now in my hand. Ready to give it to a guest who will join us shortly. Pitch on the way. High fastball, swung and a missed out of the strike zone, 1-2. For Natoli, he's got to keep that man nailed at third base. Keep him right there. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Bottom of the fourth. Here's the 1-2. Lashed foul. Jenny, stay away from that.
Oh, what a great catch.
Went down onto the concourse, in fact, so no one on the upper deck was in any danger. Stays 1-2.
And somebody caught it off the ricochet there.
I saw that, young man.
Somebody made a nice catch down there when I was roaming the bleachers.
The 1-2 with 2 out. A fly ball to right, ranging over toward the line. Bobby Lazar comes in and puts it away for the last out of the fourth inning. So Trumbull threatens, does not get anything. No runs, a hit batter. They strand 1. They've stranded 5 through 4. We move on to inning number 5 of the 2016 FCIAC Semifinals. And Trumbull leads Warde 3-1. You're watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network.
Do you need help reaching or maintaining your fitness goals? For over 20 years, Mike Pernice has tailored his time and expertise to clients on both coasts whose schedules demand flexibility and accountability. Mike is a certified lifestyle manager and has been called upon to help his clients eliminate negative behaviors such as coping with stress, improving their time management, setting realistic life goals, and cutting down compulsive behavior. If you're ready to start working toward a more energetic, productive, and healthier you, call Mike Pernice.
Hi, I'm Rob Adams with my good friend Donald Eng, and we're the home team for Nutmeg Sports Monday through Wednesday at 2 o'clock right here on the HAN Network. We are the place for all things Connecticut sports, so come hang out with us on Nutmeg Sports. Don? They don't call him the best color man in the game for nothing. Nutmeg Sports, 2 o'clock Monday through Wednesday right here on the HAN Network.
We go on to inning number 5 now at the ballpark at Harbor Yard in Bridgeport. It'll be Danny DiBartolomeo, Bobby Lazar, I had it right the first time, and Owen Berndorf. Dan Gardella up here with me, Justin Galanti down below, and the athletic director from Fairfield Warde, Seth Fry, nice enough to join us. All right, first softball question. How are you?
I'm doing well.
See, it only gets harder from here, Seth.
I see.
Your thoughts so far as we move through this night?
Well, we haven't been our sharpest in the field. Unfortunately, a couple of misplays there made John throw some extra pitches. I wouldn't say he's actually, he's on his complete A game today, but he's pitched well enough to keep us in it here. Hopefully we can string some hits together and get back on top.
Danny D lifts it to deep center, but going back, he's got it. Nice play by Jack Lynch in center, 1 out. Hit that ball well, but 1 down. Seth, we've been talking so much about the legacy of, John Kutzo, the outgoing executive director, and you, a newer athletic director to the conference, but you've been around long enough. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I knew John back in, I think, 2001 when I was a newer teacher and coach at Fairfield High, and Gus Lindeen had left to get back into coaching. And John came in with Ed McDowell, and they were the interim athletic directors. They shared the position for a year, and held the fort down until we ended up permanently filling the position. So I got to know him a little bit in that capacity. I was working with the girls' basketball team and baseball at the time, and it was good. I know he and Ed did a great job for us. They were, very professional, did really well, did the coaching modules and everything right at Fairfield High for us, so it was really convenient, having them there.
We keep talking about his legacy and all that he's done for the conference, and I'm not sure you can come up with enough adjectives for John and for Ralph King as well. A called strike to Berndorf, he's 0 for 1.
No, I know. I mean, he's done so much in his time, being the executive secretary for as long as he's been. and he's so connected to so many of the schools in the FCIAC for in that capacity, and then having family, has his grandchildren. He, I get to see him a lot at Warde. He's there to support his granddaughter that's still there now as a junior. Another one that graduated last year, so he would be at cross country and track meets and field hockey games and girls lacrosse games, watching them. And I know he's got family at other schools also. So he gets around with his wife to the games and is always out and very supportive. So it's neat to get to see him in that way, just as a fan. Not with any official duties. As he normally has so many responsibilities and does so much, but.
It is nice to watch him just kind of sit back and enjoy the athletics.
Absolutely. It's been such a big part of the FCIAC for all these years, and we're glad that he's going to stay on in an advisory role and be there as a go-to person if needed, but certainly not to have the workload that it's been for so long. He certainly deserves a break.
Everybody's safe. Throw over to third though. And a bad base running decision is going to hurt the Mustangs, as out at third, it turned into a runner on, so Deutsch will be stranded, and that's the way the top of the fifth is going to end. Stick around for another half inning?
Absolutely.
All right, we appreciate it. So it stays 3-1, Trumbull on top of Warde. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Back after this, you're watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network.
Walter Stewart's Market in New Canaan is your time-saving local shopping destination for the best of spring. Find many of your favorite products, from great specials on everyday items to the freshest organic produce, artisanal cheeses, and grass-fed steaks. Drop off your knives to be sharpened, grab a beautiful bouquet of spring flowers, and stop in next door for a wine tasting. Plus, their personable staff is always ready to lend a helping hand. So stop in to Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street today, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
The HAN Network is the leader in local broadcasting in Fairfield and Westchester counties. We reach tens of thousands of viewers via our live news, sports, and entertainment broadcasting. We can create your advertisement and broadcast it through our programming to one of the most affluent markets in the United States. And remember, our broadcasting is live, which means viewers cannot skip or click past your marketing message. And we measure our audience and their demographics on every broadcast. To advertise on the HAN Network, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Bottom of the fifth inning, Chris DeCoco, Alex Rousso, Chris O'Brien due up for the Trumbull Eagles. They lead 3-1. The winner goes on and faces the Darien Blue Wave on Wednesday. Seth Fry staying up here in the booth with us. How does an athletic director define success for a school year?
For a school year, I know the easiest way that people measure success, often is, wins and losses and, league championships and, the state playoff runs and things like that. But, what we're really about, and sometimes it might be hard to measure that within a year, is really about, building relationships and through education-based athletics and teaching all those lessons that, we know athletics serve as a perfect platform for, to these young people that have a passion for this sport, but to get those lessons about teamwork and hard work and discipline and things like that across. And sometimes you see things within a year, successes, but often it's really over the long haul. And it's when kids come back that have graduated, and you see them on Thanksgiving, and they want to come back, over school breaks and things like that, and go to practice, whether it be hockey or basketball or whatever it is, and just still be part of the program and part of the tradition that they were part of in high school. They want to stay connected with it.
Looks like we're going to have a pinch runner coming in. DeCoco with the single, and we'll get a pinch runner here, Danny.
I was able to ask Mike King the exact same question, but it seems that in all the schools in the FCIAC, that all of their sports are just, they have so much success. Like the girls basketball team at Warde did extremely well. Boys basketball did well. You had the football team making strides. So we got
a pretty good wrestling program.
Wrestling
also
as well.
Yeah.
What is the main factor in your opinion to success over a variety of sports?
Well, I think one of the really important factors, and our former headmaster Jim Coyne would always talk about, is hiring really good people, especially our head coaches. We have a lot of veteran head coaches. We really look at them as like program coordinators. Because it's not just that they're coaching the varsity team, but they're really in charge of the whole program, bringing younger coaches along, developing the players throughout the years and things like that. And we've got a really good, core group. Coach Danko's been there 25-ish years or more. Coach Shaughnessy's been there, I think, close to 20 years, our wrestling coach. So we have, that success. And even, our football has made some great strides over the last several years. And Coach Delavolpe, he's in his, just finished his 7th year there. And prior to that, we had a lot of turnover in the football program. And it's really hard to develop, tradition and develop, this is the way we're going to go about things without that consistency. So I think that's definitely an important piece. But we've got, Coach Cunningham's been doing the girls soccer and had been very successful there. We've got, several coaches that have been there for some time. Coach Jam Goshen with our girls tennis program. But at the same time, we've been able to bring in some new coaches, and
foul ball.
We're going to be, bringing them along as well. We have a new field hockey coach. Last year we had a new boys tennis coach, and actually just the other day we named our new boys hockey coach for the co-op team, Carl LaRoche, who was our second assistant this past season. So he's going to be the new head coach. Our first assistant, Brian Leach, is staying on in that capacity. So we're feeling good about that, and we're looking to fill that second assistant position. But I think that is like a really big piece of it. And the other piece is, we've got great kids and great parents at the school. It's a great atmosphere to be around. We have a lot of coaches that have moved to town. They want their kids to be part of it. They want them to be, part of the program and experience Warde. A lot of the teachers that have, moved there. I moved a mile down the road. I want my kids to, go through, and whether it be part of the athletics or just, other things in the school, just to, experience all that, we have to offer.
In fact, there was a Fairfield Warde grad he's right back there. My nephew Jake is a Fairfield Warde grad. So there's another guy.
Nice.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 3-1 ball game, nobody out, and a runner off first.
Just worth noting that in the Trumbull bullpen, Andrew Loiko is warming up, and in the Warde bullpen, Clay Curley is up and throwing.
Thank you very much. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rousseau waiting on a 2-2. Pushed it foul. It goes over to the first base dugout. It'll stay 2 balls and 2 strikes.
The other thing you mentioned about the league, we have such a competitive league. I mean, the baseball right now, there's no easy game. You go up and down the whole thing, and then, even getting some of the non-conference games, not a lot of teams want to play FCIAC teams because, we have been successful. And, there's so many sports that are offered throughout the league. And John Cutso, we talk about it all the time. Like, you look at the state, quarterfinals, semifinals, in pretty much anything, boys or girls sports, and there's always some FCIAC teams. Sometimes it's all FCIAC teams in those things. And I think that's a great credit to the great work that's been done by the athletic directors and the administration and all the coaches, over the years at so many of the schools in the league.
Check swing. He went around. Did O'Brien. Get that microphone back up in front of you. There you go, Seth. Right. No balls and 1 strike. Well, I think it's going to be seen as a very successful year for a lot of schools, and yours in particular. This is bounced foul. 0-2. You mentioned hockey. I mean, how much fun was that team to watch? Yeah, that was a great run. We had, the coaches had high expectations in terms of where they were going to end up in the state playoffs. We knew we had good people in there, and the kids were getting, as I mentioned before, the right lessons about education-based athletics. But it's also, a heck of a lot of fun to win. And, we had a good feeling. Like, throughout this year, we were ranked near the top of Division II. Sometimes we were right at the #1 spot in the Division II for hockey this year. Whereas a few years ago when we won the state championship, it was a little bit more of a surprise. I believe we were a 9 seed, or it might have been a 13 seed even. And so it was a little bit more fun, kind of being unexpected, the underdog. Whereas this year, we were right there as the 2 seed, and we had a heck of a game with North Branford, who we had tied previously in the season. So we anticipated it would be a good game, and we've actually been moved to Division I for hockey next year. A big part of that being the success we've had over the last 4 or so years. This year, we play the 5 Division I hockey teams every year in the FCIAC, and this year we did really well, having a record of 3-2 against them, which is the best we had ever done, against those Division I teams. They have intentionally walked Ola to put him on at first. Keep Tuccinardi, who is the pinch runner, at second now, and Justin Waldeck coming up. He's 0 for 2. Still a 3-1 ball game as we play here in the bottom of the 5th inning. It's going to be a different FCIAC next year, but it's going to keep moving forward with Dave Schultz and a lot of good people like yourself involved. Different and yet all the same.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Dave's in a great position, having so much experience in the league, coaching basketball, being the basketball committee chair, forever, being involved, at the board of, executive board, and just, being on, so many committees, statewide and having just the wealth of knowledge that he has, the history of the league, playing in the league, coaching in the league, being an athletic director in the league for so long, and he's, familiar with so many people at so many schools. So we're excited that we have that stability, moving forward, and, we feel like we're going to be in a good place for years to come here. And then Joe Mataferri is going to be taking over Ralph King's position as the assistant.
Right.
And again, I think that's a great spot. Those two work together really well, and I'm looking forward to going to meetings and having them kind of run things. It'll be fun.
The 1-2 on the way. He swings and misses, and the inning comes to an end. We'll let you get back to watching your team as they strikes out the side. Does John Natoli. Seth Fry, always a pleasure. Thanks for your time.
Thanks so much for having us, and thanks for doing this. This is awesome. It's a great atmosphere, and having you guys, broadcast the game. It's really neat for the people that can't make it. I know they really appreciate it. So thanks again so much.
No runs, a hit, no errors, 2 left on base. We go now to inning number 6, 3-1, Trumbull on top of Warde. You're watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network.
Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook. For more than 50 years, Triple S has been Fairfield County's expert service for carpet, upholstery, and drapery cleaning. We provide the best in repairs and in-depth restoration, understanding fabrics and how to properly clean and restore them. Our staff will come to your home to clean your wall-to-wall carpet to perfection. We can also pick up your fine carpets and bring them to our facilities with locations in Norwalk, Stamford, and Stratford. Triple S will get the job done fast, big or small. At Triple S, you can count on our people as well as our cleaning. Find us at triplesclean.com or 203-847-8000.
To the 6th we go. As you take a look, some of the kids enjoying the atmosphere. Kid likes to move it, I think. We'll get Justin back in as well. It's a 3-1 ball game as we go to the 6th.
Yeah, guys, it's pretty cool down here. There was a little kid dancing next to the Trumbull student section. Pretty excited. They got fired up. But that last between innings, the huddle on the Warde side was as fired up as they've been all night. And you could almost sense the realization of, hey, guys, we have 6 outs left. We got to get something done.
Two balls and no strikes. Jack Myers leading things off. We thank Seth Fry. Myers 1 for 2. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 1 strike. By the way, Frank Granito could not resist. He heard Seth Fry say the assistant coach would be Brian Leach, and of course any Ranger fan is going to pick up on that one. 2 balls, 1 strike, nobody out. That's on the outside corner, 2-2, and yes, Brian Leach, of course. That Brian Leach is also a Connecticut guy, who I've also had the great pleasure of chatting with. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Top of the 6th inning. Time has flown by. It's been a good one. Earlier today, 5-1 victory as Darien punched their ticket to the FCIAC Championship, trying to win their first title since 1998. The 2-2 pitch is on the way with nobody out. Swing and fouled off to our right. Bounced off door number 7. Monty Hall nowhere to be found. It'll stay 2-2. Would you even get that Monty Hall reference?
Probably
not. Okay.
Just kind of sitting here with an open mind.
2-2 pitch on the way and nobody out. I figured that might be too old for you. High and outside, 3-2. The old show was let's make a deal and what's behind door number 1, 2, or 3. That's all.
If we're talking songs, maybe I could get a couple here and there, but phrases is out the window.
The 3-2 pitch, low and inside, ball 4.
And that's just what Warde needed to start off their inning, get them fired up. You need the leadoff man on bit by bit. You don't need a home run swing every time. You just need to get on base and keep moving the chains.
On at first is Myers. It'll bring up Giacomo Brancato, and I have that as the first walk of the evening allowed by O'Brien.
Correctamundo.
All right. Andrews still got a baseball in his hand. Does Seth Fry give that to you? Did Seth Fry give you that ball? No, oh, you got that one. Okay. All right.
I'm always amazed at any game I go to here. When there's a foul ball here, there's typically no broken glass.
They make sure to use the right kind of glass here for sure.
Sometimes you'll see one shattered window here and there, but this glass is pretty decent.
Here's Brancato, who was 0 for 2. Struck out in the first, grounded to third in the third. And the pitch on the way to him. Breaking ball, misses 1-0. So the Fairfield Warde cheering section starting to come to life. They want to see their Mustangs decked out in red, white, and black come back and tie this game up. They're down 2. Brancato is the tying run. Now the pitch on the way. The 1-0 is a big breaking ball, slow curve, 1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike, nobody out, 3-1 ball game, runner off first. Throw over to first, back safely is Myers.
I don't think that was his A move.
I'll go on a limb and say no.
Just to keep him honest.
Scoreboard says 4 hits, and it stays at 4 hits. That misses, 2 balls and 1 strike. I have 4 also. So a run on 4 hits for Warde, 3 runs on 6 hits for Trumbull. Each team has an error. The high set, and O'Brien brings it home. They've got him picked off. The throw to second. Got him. Boy, they collided at second base, but Myers is out. That goes 1-3-6.
And that was a difficult play because the throw to the first baseman was a bit low. He had to gather it, throw to second, and at the time nobody was there, but he trusted his middle infielders enough to get there in time and get the tag down.
After all that, 2 balls and 1 strike.
And that's big for Warde, losing that leadoff guy.
There will be a 2-1 pitch coming. If you weren't here for the first game, we'll bring you up to date. Swung and a missed. It's 2-2. The field is certainly in good shape. It's playable, but there are a couple of divots in left field. Why? We'll come back to that as soon as we can. There was a visitor here today. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, a 3-1 ball game, 6th inning. Now O'Brien brings it home, high and outside, 3-2. Right before we started broadcasting today, there was a buzz of a helicopter making its way into the ballpark. It landed in left center field. You can't see the spot now, but there was an H out there. 3-2 is outside ball 4. And sure enough, in the midst of nutmeg
to take
sports,
off here, Frank. It's a
off goes
magnificent
helicopter.
vehicle.
And it was a
Frankie,
real
you and
level
I are
takeoff.
talking
Good job
right
here as
there.
he just gets the
He
nose
has the
down, breaks through that
play-by-play
first
of a
barrier of
helicopter
atmosphere.
flying away from this ballpark. So it left a couple of divots out in left field.
You see something new every day.
It was apparently the owner or owners of the New York Islanders coming to talk to their counterparts from the Bridgeport Sound Tigers. Reese Maniscalco is 1 for 2. Big hack, swings and misses, 0-1.
Should have asked for some tickets or something.
I have not been to see the Islanders down in Brooklyn. I haven't seen the Barclays Center. I saw it when it was under construction, but haven't seen it since they moved in. No balls, 1 strike. Pitch on the way. On the inside corner, 0-2.
I was able to go for some college basketball in the fall. Not a bad venue at all.
I've been in Webster Bank many times, especially as a broadcaster. I've had the great pleasure of doing so right here on the network. The 0-2 stays high. 1-2. And a handful of times is actually the guy doing a Sound Tiger game here or there. So good times over in that building. My buddy Phil Jubileo, nice enough to ask me to come by and call a few games. Now a 1-2 with a runner off first. It's a 3-1 ball game, and it's on the way. Swung on and missed. Down goes Maniscalco. 2 away. 6 strikeout for O'Brien. 2 down. It'll bring up John Natoli.
And
he's 0 for 2. Struck out, popped to the mound. Go ahead.
One of the coaches for Trumbull coming out and shifting the outfield more toward right field, as the center fielder's a bit off center, shading a little bit toward right center, and the left field line is wide open. So if Natoli can hook one down that line, I'd like to say they can score the runner from first.
Runner off first right now. Brancato, who was walked. Pitch to Natoli. Fastball misses. Outside 1-0.
And that caught stealing plays a big role now, as instead of first and second 1 out, you have a runner at first, and 2 outs.
Pitch on the way from the lefty is a called strike, 1-1. Outfield plays it straight away. Infield back with 2 out. On the outfield grass, in fact, stands Cicada. One. Swung on and missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Every time you think the Mustangs are climbing back into it, along comes the pitching of Chris O'Brien. Let's see what he does with a 1-2 pitch here in the 6th. Sets and brings it home. Natoli spoils it and fouls it off. Bounces up here and goes down below. So it'll stay 1-2. Work of a great crew on hand tonight. I say it many times. I get to just be the mouthpiece for everyone, but this is a great group of people here. Really pleased to be associated with all of them. The 1-2 pitch with 2 out in a 3-1 ball game. Here it comes. Lifted, foul off first. This will also make the stands. Bounce right off one of the walkways and go up into the bleachers. Remaining 1-2. Dan's alongside of me, Justin down below. Eric Gendron, AJ Simonowski, Sean Saylor, Andrew Mitchell, Jenny Schrenker, Grant Weiler, along with Marty, Josh, and Kate. And a 1-2 pitch coming up in a 3-1 ball game. You and I and Justin, as the guys with the microphones, can certainly say we're blessed and have a good time.
I always love coming here.
Me too. A lot of fun. The 1-2. Lined into left field. That's a 2-out hit. Stopping at second is Brancato. The tying run is at first as Natoli pounds his hands together with a 2-out single.
And if I haven't said it enough, I'm going to say it again. Now you have first and second 2 outs, but you have to think there could have been bases loaded 1 out or maybe a 3-2 game.
And there's the sight of a couple of athletic directors hanging out together. Dave Schultz on the left and Seth Fry, whose voice you just heard, on the right. This is lifted right back up and down below us. No balls and a strike. Xavier Espinel, who has been taking target practice at us this evening, is 0 for 2 on the evening. He grounded to short and grounded to second.
Should have dove for that one.
You dive for that one.
I won't be doing any broadcast anytime soon.
It won't go well. The 0-1 pitch with 2 out. Just misses low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brancato at second, Natoli at first, a 3-1 ball game. And Xavier Espinel trying to spoil the party for the Trumbull Eagles. Down 2. The Mustangs trail 3-1. That's upstairs. 2 balls and a strike. The winner gets Darien, who beat Norwalk earlier this evening. That game will be at 7 o'clock on Wednesday night right here at the ballpark at Harbor Yard in Bridgeport. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 out. Here it comes. Swung on and missed. It's 2-2.
Big pitch right there. O'Brien did not want to go to 3-1, especially in this situation. Now he can afford to spoil a pitch, but if I was him, I would just attack right right now.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 3-1 ball game. Tying run at first. Espinel waiting. O'Brien brings it home, fought it off, and it goes to third. Grounded there by Loico, throws across, and the inning comes to an end. So the Mustangs wind up stranding 2. There was a hit and a walk and no errors. We go now to the bottom of the 6th inning. Trumbull's getting closer. Trumbull 3, Warde 1. You're watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network.
Mosquitoes, ticks, gone. Guaranteed. That's what Mosquito Squad guarantees as America's most trusted mosquito and tick control company. Locally owned and operated, over 90,000 homes have been protected by Mosquito Squad using their dual protection method for season-long protection, which includes barrier spray service for eliminating mosquitoes and adult ticks, as well as supplemental programs to increase tick control. They use only USDA organic options, which are safe and non-toxic. Contact them today at www.squadctny.com or 203-893-4309. Mosquito Squad. No bugs, no bites, no kidding.
You're watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. Nearly 1 million people have watched our live sports, news, and entertainment programming since the network launched in August 2015. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Bottom of the 6th inning, Vinny DeRubius will lead things off. He is 1 for 1, singled, and was hit by a pitch. Jack Lynch will follow. He is 0 for 1. And then the top of the order, Dustin Cicada. He is 0 for 2, but he also walked and scored a run. Rob Adams, Dan Gardella up top. Justin Galanti down below. A 3-1 ball game. Trumbull leads Warde as we head to the bottom of the 6th.
And guys, important to note that Natoli 2-out hit might have been big for Warde. Even though they didn't cash in a run, they'll have 7, 8, 9 coming up in the top half of the 7th inning. So a base runner or 2, and they can flip back to their power hitters at the top of the order.
And the first pitch is lifted right above us. Will bounce around and not come back. No balls and a strike. Grant Weiler certainly keeping an eye on that. No balls and 1 strike.
This is just frustrating. It's teasing me. I'm waiting for one to come back here.
But you got to give him back. That's low. Breaking pitch, 1 ball, 1 strike.
But it's the
thought.
It's either the massive success of catching it or the massive failure and garbage you'll get from everyone.
The 1-1 fouled right back to the screen, 1 and 2. I'll spare you the foul ball stories, but we've all got them.
And I know if I drop it, I know 1, 2, 3 would probably give me something.
Oh, don't count out Justin.
I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, you definitely get some grief from down here, even if I didn't see it.
The 1-2 is low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Justin said it, 7, 8, 9 due up for Warde in the 7th. 2-2. Lifted to right, ranging back on it. Bobby Lazar, he'll put it away, 1 out. 3 outs away from Darien and Trumbull on Wednesday.
I think Trumbull deserves a lot of credit for the game plan they've had coming in. And frankly, what I think that was be aggressive and put the ball in play. We've seen ridiculous strikeout totals from Natoli in the 2 games so far we've seen him pitch. But today, he's given up. He hasn't gotten a lot of swing and misses, and I think all the credit goes to Trumbull, shortening up their swings, willing to go the other way, foul off tough pitches.
No balls, 1 strike on Lynch. He lashes it foul quickly in the hole, 0-2. We mentioned 14 a week ago. Go ahead.
You said it. Justin just said it. I mean, they've not only been spoiling a lot of pitches, but they've just been patient and aggressive at the same time by taking pitchers that may be borderline that other people may swing at.
The 0-2 lifted high and foul off to our left, out of play. It'll stay 0-2. That'll bounce around, coming back down into the crowd. It goes
right near us.
In fact, I'll bring you back up to speed in a moment. And a line drive that goes to deep right center field. That is going to find the gap and head toward Bobby Valentine. On his horse, heading around second is Lynch. The throw will be cut off on the outfield. Safe at third with a 1-out triple is Jack Lynch.
Great piece of hitting there by Lynch, taking it into the right center field gap, and as soon as it left the bat, there was no doubt that it was going to get down. And in the right center field gap, which is wide open, Lynch was thinking 3 all the way.
A laser beam out to the Sacred Heart University sign with Bobby Valentine's picture on it, and that might end the night for John Natoli. Certainly a pat on the back. Bullpen still kind of staying loose, a left-hander out there. Let's see what we find out. Conversation, no. Natoli will stay in. Natoli here at the ballpark at Harbor Yard back on May 9th went the distance, 119 pitches against Fairfield Ludlow, 6 runs, 5 earned, 7 hits, 2 walks, and 10 strikeouts that night.
And even with the runs allowed and the hits and everything, he still got 10 strikeouts. And with only
the win.
And the win, and only 119 pitches, and you may say only 119, but he gave up 6 runs.
Right.
And struck out 10, which you either get one or you get the other. You don't really get both in a 119 pitch outing.
Here's Dustin Cicada, 0 for 2, scored a run, takes a called strike, 0-1.
They got the right batters at the plate as now the lineup flips back over as Dustin Cicada, the leadoff hitter, with only 1 out too, so a fly ball will tack on another insurance run.
Against a drawn-in infield, went for the safety squeeze and punches it foul, 0-2.
Little risky by Trumbull, but with a 2-run lead, you can afford to do that.
That is not the kind of play you will see 2 in a row, and certainly not an 0-2 pitch. But Phil Pacelli could surprise us. Pitch lifted up into the screen. It'll stay 0-2. But the more common the belief is, no, you're not going to see that play again. That was a one-time deal.
Hit or miss.
Yep. Bottom of the 6th, 0-2, 1 out, 3-1 ball game, and a big 4th run at third. High, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Natoli came back with that hard fastball. He is up over 100 by now. In fact, he's at 105 and 106 misses, 2-2.
And this goes into what Justin was saying about these Trumbull hitters. He had him 0-2, now works the count back to 2-2, where Natoli's probably going to have to throw something in there.
2-2, check swing. Marty tried to make the catch, and they play the broken glass sound. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Everybody's okay, folks. Now the 2-2. Swung at ball 3, but fouled it off. It stays 2-2.
That's where you're looking for the Singleton. Look out.
Yeah, seriously, Kenny Singleton.
That's where you're looking for right there.
Another ball coming up here.
I know my Yankee broadcasters. I may be a Red Sox fan, but...
The 2-2 stays high, 3-2. It is not a terrible move to put him on. The problem is Andrew Loico on deck. He's 0 for 3, though.
But this is where the Ward has faith in Natoli that if he does put him on, they can get a ground ball and get out of this.
And that just missed. Woo.
Wow.
Ball 4.
What an at-bat by Cicada. Down 0-2, works it to 2-2, spoils a couple pitches, works it to 3-2, and eventually gets the walk.
That, with the intentional walk included, gives him 4 walks on the night. Here's Andrew Loico, 0 for 3, struck out, grounded to short, flied to right. He brings it home, and a called strike, 0-1. So in on the grass at third is Deutsch. Middle infield looks for 2. Maniscalco holds the runner on at first. Outfield otherwise largely plays it straight away. A fly ball in foul ground. Maniscalco the call. The one-handed catch, 2 out.
Big out number 2 there for Ward, leaving Lynch at third base.
2 down for Chris DeCoco. Singleton scored, and singled. He has been a busy man, 3 for 3. However, he's got to do a little book work in his own part. Now he's got it straight. Got the protection on the ankle, and up he walks. And that big gold number 27 on his back. And he'll climb in.
I do like the camouflage sleeve he has on. Matches, it matches.
The set in the first pitch. Fastball called strike, 0-1.
Sometimes you'll see players in high school or even the majors, UNS Cespedes, wearing an absurdly different color compared to their uniforms.
Now the 0-1 with 2 out. Swings and lifts it, fouling out of play. First base side, off the roof. That'll head down into the what has become the season ticket parking lot. Used to be the players' lot. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 3-1 ball game. Runners at the corners and 2 out, bottom of the 6th. The set and the 0-2. A little high, 1-2.
It's another borderline pitch on the inside.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Here's the set by Natoli in the 1-2. Breaking ball misses high, 2-2. 7th inning approaching. We're in the bottom of the 6th. And Natoli trying his darndest to keep it right here. A 2-run ball game. 2-2. Misses high, 3-2. Alex Rousseau on deck. He's 1 for 3. The winner plays Darien on Wednesday night here at 7 on the HAN network. 3-2. 2 out, now time called.
And with a 3-2 count, Cicada will be off on the pitch from first base.
Now we're ready. A 3-2 with a runner going. It's on the inside corner, a called strike 3, and the inning comes to an end. Needed to have that, did John Natoli. It's his 6th strikeout. A big goose egg goes up in the bottom of the 6th inning on 1 base hit with a walk thrown in, no errors, and 2 left on base. Let's take it to the 7th. Last chance for the Fairfield Warde Mustangs. Trumbull 3, Warde 1. You're watching the 2016 FCIAC Semifinals on the HAN network.
A Better View Window Cleaning Plus has been cleaning glass all over Connecticut for over 20 years. They also specialize in cleaning chandeliers, mirrors, skylights, tiles, and will power wash anything that needs cleaning. They hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and are fully insured and bonded. When you deal with the Better View, you're dealing with the best, not the rest. Call today for a free estimate, 203-284-8836, or visit them online, abetterviewcleaning.com. At the Language School in Ridgefield, we teach practical language for real life, tailored to your professional needs or those of your children. Offering more than a dozen languages, the school specializes in creating customized classes for businesses, government agencies, and healthcare professionals in Fairfield and Westchester counties. Native speakers from around the world will instruct students of all ages in the language and the culture using a hands-on method. Find out more about what makes us different at thelanguageschoolglobal.com or call us at 203-241-7010.
To inning number 7 we go, and the last hope for the Fairfield Warde Mustangs. Danny DeBartolomeo, Bobby Lazar, and Owen Berndorf due up for the Fairfield Warde Mustangs, who trail 3-1 as we go in to the top of the 7th inning, and Chris O'Brien looking for the complete game performance. He has allowed 1 run on 5 base hits.
He's been very dominant here. And was able to face a little bit of adversity in that top of the 6th, having 2 on and being able to get out of it with no harm done.
We'll see if John Natoli is done at 118 pitches. Whether or not he returns is a question of whether or not his team can get a couple of runs. In the meantime, 98 pitches for Chris O'Brien. And pitch number 99 will start against DeBartolomeo, who is 0 for 2, struck out and flied to center. For O'Brien, a senior, he will climb back up. Trumbull crowd anxious but ready to celebrate and go to the finals. The Warde crowd is the one making a little more noise right now. They're trying to egg their team on. DeBartolomeo first, O'Brien brings it home. A called strike on the outside corner, 0-1.
If you're Ward, it's very crucial that you get the leadoff man on here as you're chasing 2.
0-1. Breaking pitch, did not find it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Justin Galante down below. He will head to the field postgame. Someone's got to grab that loose ball, however, and it falls to Chris DeCoco. No ball boy is to be found. Of course, at a Bluefish game, someone's sprinting out and grabbing the horse hide, but not in this case.
Try and pocket it maybe for later.
1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out. 3-1 Trumbull on top of Ward, top of the 7th. Now the 1-1. Swings and fouls it straight back. 1-2. A little off to the first base side. So another ball bounces around and sits back there, and DeCoco will take another walk.
It's good exercise, good exercise.
And guys, I think the goal for Ward here has to be to get back to the top of the order with less than 2 outs. That's always what coaches say when you start off an inning towards the end of the game where you need runs. When the bottom of the order's up, they say get it back to the top with less than 2 outs and we'll tie the game.
1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out, and O'Brien brings it home. Breaking ball stays outside, 2-2. O'Brien stands straight toward home plate, legs slightly stretched apart. And now the lefty brings a 2-2 home. Fastball bounces up the middle, several hops, grabbed, bounced, throws first, high, safe. DeBartolomeo coming down the line. They had plenty of time to get him, but up the middle, Ruchowski and Cicada came together and safe at first.
That was all communication right there. As Cicada and Ruchowski didn't really know who was going to get it. Ruchowski ranging up the middle. Cicada looked like he had it all, and then Ruchowski ran right in front of him. And I'd like to see how they score this. I'd like to believe an error.
The question is, who gets the error?
I believe it's on Cicada. I would like to say Cicada because, and I believe that's the night for
that is it.
O'Brien.
So O'Brien's night is done after 6+. We'll meet a new pitcher, and we'll tell you all about it when we come back here, top of the 7th, tying run coming to the plate, Trumbull up 3-1. You're watching the 2016 FCIAC Semifinals on the HAN Network.
Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
You're watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. Nearly 1 million people have watched our live sports, news, and entertainment programming since the network launched in August 2015. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Here's Bobby Lazar. And the pitch on the way from Andrew Loico is lifted right back up. Here it comes, and down it goes. No balls and 1 strike. We are compiling the numbers.
That looked perfect to me. I thought we had that one. Oh, man.
And you know what? I do agree with you. 7 strikeouts, so thank you.
You're very welcome.
Now the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Right now, the numbers on Chris O'Brien, 103 pitches, 6+. He's allowed 1 run earned. He is responsible for the runner at first, 5 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts.
All in all, a pretty good outing.
1-1 pitch. Lazar fires it right back to the screen, 1-2.
Screen's getting a good workout today.
Owen Berndorf on deck, he's 1 for 2. And you think back to some of the things that went on in this game, including Berndorf getting gunned down at third base at one point. That happened back in the 5th.
Some costly base running errors and also a pickoff on Trumbull's side that prevented Ward from possibly getting a run.
The 1-2 with nobody out. Golfed deep down the right field line, but well foul. I mean, tattooed down the line. So both sides will come to life. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 3-1 ball game, tying run at the plate, nobody out, top of the 7th. Loico looking in, straightens up, sets at the belt. Brings the 1-2 home. Fastball high, 2-2.
And if he can get on, this will give the top of the order a chance with less than 2 outs, as Justin was saying, and that's a big, big thing for Ward.
2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Lazar just kind of cocking the bat now high over his shoulder. 2-2. That's a called strike 3, and he knew it. Must have been looking for the local. He got the express, 1 out. That pitch too good to take. And the Eagles 2 outs away from playing for the championship. Owen Berndorf is a 1 for 2, grounded to second and singled. Joey Deutsch, top of the order on deck, runner off first, being held on. It's on the way, fastball, fought it off to the left side. They'll go to second for 1. The set there, the relay across is not in time. So it's a fielder's choice. Safe at first is Berndorf on the 5-4. And with 2 down, it's all up to Joey Deutsch as they rise behind the Trumbull dugout.
But also on the back end of that play, it was a good pick by DeRubis over there. Even though it was late, made it awfully close.
Deutsch 1 for 3, doubled and scored, struck out, and reached on an error. 3-1 ball game, Trumbull leads, 7th inning. Outside and low, 1-0. The winner gets the Darien Blue Wave. Wednesday night right here. 7 o'clock first pitch on the HAN network. Now from the belt. The 1-0 pitch with 2 out. Fastball on the outside corner at the knees. 1-1. Thanks to everybody here at the ballpark at Harbor Yard and to all the guests who were kind enough to stop up. But we've still got another out to go. The 1-1 pitch with 2 down. From the belt, Loico brings it home. Breaking ball. Checked this swing. Good bat control by Deutsch. 2-1. That pitch diving outside. Jack Myers on deck. Now a 2-1 with 2 out. Misses outside, 3-1. Loico thought he would get the call, but that's just a result of Chris DeCoco trying to frame the pitch and pull it back. Wasn't getting the call from the umpire.
3-1. If you're Deutsch, you want to look for something dead red.
Let's see if he gets it. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 out. Here it comes. Fouled it straight back. Dan was right on the money. He got something he liked and fouled it straight back.
He was going for the tie on that one.
Had a healthy cut. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out.
And Deep Bartolomeo will be going on this pitch, and DeRubis will not be holding him on. And I don't see a reason to hold him on, as you could just knock it down, take the out, finish the game.
Loico goes to the back of the mound, collects himself, climbs back up on the rubber. He's ready to go. Settles right in. He'll work from the stretch, leaning in and getting a sign from Chris DeCoco. Sets at the belt. The payoff pitch with 2 out. Breaking ball. Misses high and inside. Ball 4. The tying run goes to first, and Jack Myers due up.
And exhale. That was a very borderline pitch there on an off speed.
Tough pitch to take. Tough pitch to take. Myers. Been on base twice. Popped to the mound on a bunt attempt, singled, and walked. Pitch on the way. Called strike with a fastball in the outside corner. 0-1.
Especially after maybe missing a call that Loico thought he got. Good job by getting that first pitch strike by.
Boys lacrosse tomorrow at 5 o'clock here on the HAN Network. The 0-1 pitch coming with 2 out in a 3-1 ball game. Fastball low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Everybody's standing behind the Trumbull dugout. The Warde dugout, the fans there still sitting, hanging in there, hoping. 1-1. Line drive, it is up the middle, and a diving catch behind second! And the Trumbull Eagles will play for the FCIAC Championship as Dustin Cicada saves their bacon.
What a play. What a play.
Congratulations to Trumbull. Come back on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. here at the ballpark at Harvard Yard. And watch the #1 seed, Darien Blue Wave, take on the Trumbull Eagles.
Sometimes you can't help but just watch and enjoy. Let's watch it again. You can see it for yourself, Danny, but he got a good pitch to hit. Right back up the middle and a diving grab. What a play by Cicada.
And that's what you want to do as a baseball player. You want to just go all out just to finish a game like this in such a with such a great atmosphere. And now the Trumbull Eagles will play the Darien Blue Wave for an FCIAC title.
So this one in the books, and what a fun one it turned out to be. My goodness. The final score from the ballpark at Harbor Yard. The Trumbull Eagles 3, the Fairfield Warde Mustangs 1. Justin, Dan, and I come back for the postgame right after this. You're watching the 2016 FCIAC Semifinals on the HAN Network.
Connecticut is coming back to hometown banking, to a partner that makes small businesses feel big, where community comes first, where you get the know-how only neighbors can deliver, where saving time is important too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well, bank smart, bank local, bank well. With the 24-month Bank Well Smart CD, you can earn 1.35% APY and raise your rate and add to your CD.
Can't wait for it to get warmer so you can start fishing again? Get over to the Dock Shop, where they have the latest in fishing tackle, marine electronics, boating supplies, and more. But remember, the Dock Shop isn't your average tackle shop. You'll also find the finest selection of nautical apparel, jewelry, home decor, and gifts in New England. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
The HAN Network is the leader in local broadcasting in Fairfield and Westchester counties. We reach tens of thousands of viewers via our live news, sports, and entertainment broadcasting. We can create your advertisement and broadcast it through our programming to one of the most affluent markets in the United States. And remember, our broadcasting is live, which means viewers cannot skip or click past your marketing message. And we measure our audience and their demographics on every broadcast. To advertise on the HAN Network, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Well, the Trumbull Eagles are moving on, and this is why they're moving on. Still life left in this game for Fairfield Warde, but Dustin Cicada said, nope, not going to be your night. That diving grab right behind the bag showed it to the umpire, started the celebration with Rachowski, and the Trumbull Eagles are moving on to play the Darien Blue Wave. Rob Adams, Dan Gardella up top. Justin Galanti has gone down to the field to grab a post-game guest, and this one is in the books.
Wow. I have no words. That last play is just...
We've seen some defense in the FCIAC, haven't we?
Oh, we definitely have, and this is probably just a great way, especially for Trumbull. Warde was kind of marching back. They had a little bit of momentum, and then that diving catch just stops them dead in their tracks.
Justin is out on the field. We will get down to him in a moment. He is working on a post-game guest right now. I believe he might have gotten sidetracked on grabbing his man, but we will get him. Not that Justin got sidetracked, just that we're waiting.
Yeah,
We're being polite.
I know what that feels like. Don't worry.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. Chris O'Brien, of course, got the win in this game. And O'Brien will give you his numbers momentarily, but we're working through all of it. For O'Brien, he does get the win. He goes 6+, 1 run earned, 5 hits, walked 2, struck out 7. Now, Andrew Loico flirted with a little bit of disaster, but nothing to be too excited about when all was said and done. Certainly got exciting here for a moment, but not the case. He threw 14 pitches in 1 inning of work to get the save, no runs, walked 1, struck out 1. Quite a night. Danny's going to make, or rather Justin's going to make, but Dan's up here with me.
I teleport.
Yes, you did. Justin is going to relocate, and we will head down to him momentarily. Looks like they are all set. He's got his man. Justin, it's all yours.
Thanks, Rob. Here with Chris O'Brien. Chris, you looked like you were really in a rhythm on the mound today. What were you feeling?
I was feeling great. All my pitches were working, and I seemed to hit my spots very well.
How about that play at the end of the game?
That play was amazing. I got really excited and just couldn't have been better.
Darien Trumbull for the FCIAC Championship. Give me your early thoughts on them.
We played last week, and we ended up winning, but I think they're a very good team.
Well, congrats on the win, and good luck on Wednesday.
All right, thank you.
Guys?
All right, thank you very much, Justin. We'll take it back up here, and again, quite a ball game. Quite a close one.
Close one as Warde jumped out early, got a leadoff double to start the entire game by Joey Deutsch, eventually brought him around to score, and it looked like Warde had the momentum going into that bottom of the first, but then Trumbull came back scoring 2, and after that, O'Brien, he settled down a lot. Like he said, he was hitting his spots, he was mixing up his pitches well enough to stop a very good Warde lineup, because you look at their 3, 4, and 5, you have Brancato, Maniscalco, and Natoli, all great hitters in the FCIAC, and he was able to stop them and stop the rest of this offense, and was helped along the way with some defense as well.
What really an enjoyable baseball game here in this nightcap. Now, earlier today, just to quickly recap before we say goodnight, the Darien Blue Wave knocked off the Norwalk Bears 5-1, with Andrew Winch getting the win as he went 7 innings, 1 run earned, 5 hits. Walked 1, struck out 3. So 5-1, Darien moves on to play for their first title since 1998. Here in the nightcap, Trumbull joins them to set up the matchup for the championship. A 3-1 final score. John Natoli will take the loss. 118 pitches, 3 runs, all earned, 7 hits, 4 walks. Hit 1, struck out 6 with 1 wild pitch. On the other side, Chris O'Brien, 103 pitches and 6+, 1 run earned, 5 hits, 2 walks, struck out 7. Andrew Loico gets the save, 14 pitches, 1 inning, walked 1, struck out 1. Dan kind of gave you the rundown of the offense, but you're right. A 2-out RBI single by Reese Maniscalco in the first made it 1-0. Looked like Warde had the momentum, but the Eagles answered right back. A walk to Dustin Cicada, and the leadoff walks kill you every time. After that, a 1-out single from Chris DeCoco, an RBI single from Alex Rousso tied it at 1, and then an RBI single from Chris O'Brien himself made it a 2-1 ball game, and really that was enough. One more came along in the third as DeCoco reached on a wild pitch. Angelo Tuccinardi ran for him. I beg your pardon. DeCoco did it himself, excuse me. Went to second on a wild pitch and scored on a wild pitch. So I said one wild pitch. I meant 2 wild pitches in that scenario. But nonetheless, a lot to think about there. It was 3-1 right there, and it stayed that way. Both teams played pretty good defense through the balance of the game, and that's where we set up for the championship. I think we've got a good one.
I'm excited for this, especially since that Darien was they've just been dominant. Their first game, their offense was great. The semifinal, their offense was not as good, but still great, and their pitching was just as good. And Trumbull, I think, will have a great plan to stopping those hitters. And now we just wait to see how Darien can respond and stop the Trumbull hitters.
And they've spoken the magic words. The ballpark is closed. And with that, I'll see you. Have a good night.
I'll see you
Great
on
job.
Thursday.
That'll do it from the ballpark at Harbor Yard. Final scores in this one. Game 1. The Darien Blue Wave knock off the Norwalk Bears 5-1 here in the nightcap. For Fairfield Warde, 1 run on 5 hits, 1 error. They left 7. For Trumbull, 3 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors. They stranded 9. Chris O'Brien gets the win. John Natoli the loss. Andrew Loico the save in a game that took 2 hours exactly. We are back with you tomorrow from Brian McMahon High School. We'll be there for doubleheader action, semifinals in boys lacrosse, as well as coffee break news briefs throughout the day. We look forward to that tomorrow. Boys lacrosse, Ridgefield, New Canaan at 5, Darien and Staples at 7:30. For our entire crew, Kate Czaplinski, Josh Fisher, Marty Hersom, Grant Weiler, Jenny Schrenker, Andrew Mitchell, Sean Saylor, AJ Simonowski, Eric Gendron, Justin Galanti, Dan Gardella. I'm Rob Adams. 3-1 final score. You've been watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network. Good night from Bridgeport.